Alright YouTube, what is happening? We got a video on the Massdrop Ochs Orca. This is made by Riot Knives, and this is obviously a Massdrop knife. Came in a few different options. This is the premium version that has carbon fiber, marble carbon fiber, and Mokutai, blue Mokutai hardware and clip. There's also a purple Mokutai hardware and clip, and then there was the standard version, which was G10. There was black, like a tan, and like a light blue version. So this version here was I think it was $299, $289, $299, and the other one was about 170. Yeah, about 170, 180. So, but all have the same specs essentially, just the different finishes. So, kind of nice they made so many different options available. So, let's go into the specs and then we'll do some comparisons here. So it is running on RLW34, and like I said, it's made by Riot Knives. Blade length is 3.5 inches. Your thickness is 1.16 inches thick on the blade stock. Handle length is 4.5 inches. Handle width is 0.6 inches, kind of wider knife. Overall length is 8 inches, and it weighs 4.75 ounces. That's the G10 version. The carbon fiber is a little bit lighter, 4.4. A little bit lighter, not a ton, but a little bit. Definitely noticeable though. Okay, so those are some specs, and let's do some size comparisons. Got my 8015 here, which dwarfs it. It's quite a bit smaller, but it's not a small knife by any means. There's the XM18, which is a very, very comparable size. And then the Spyderco Smock, which is also a very comparable size, almost the same exact handle. And then the Benchmade 940, a little bit smaller. So a little bit bigger than the 940, about the same size as the Smock and the XM18, and the Scorpion, not the Scorpion, the 8015 is dwarfing it. Okay, so let's talk about some features of this knife, or basically go over my usual review specs here. Fit and finish is incredibly good. Riot Knives, I should have brought my baby machine as a comparison. Riot Knives makes awesome knives, guys. Pretty much the gold standard of the Chinese manufacturing industry, and some could even say the U.S. as well. Very, very good, well put together knife. Extremely nicely finished. I mean, the marble carbon fiber is beautiful. The Mokutai hardware is beautiful. The blade finish, really nice. Again, with the pug clip, the back spacer, the nicely anodized liners. Really, really well put together. Very, very nice action, which we'll talk about in the action section, but very nice action. So everything about this thing screams a very high-end knife. For the price, when you consider that, it's a really good deal, and we'll get into that value. But either way, very well done. Nice. I don't really love the full bolster look that much. I wish they kind of just did the full marbled carbon fiber all the way across instead of doing the bolster, but that is what it is. Nice recess here for some chamfering here for the lock. It's a liner lock. Thumb studs are nicely anodized. I mean, everything just is beautiful, like you would expect from Riot. So for what you're getting, really, really good deal. I like that they have multiple color options as well. You have the G10, you have the carbon fiber, you have the purple Mokutai, and the blue Mokutai. This one's the blue. Now, this is a pass-around knife, just so you guys know. This isn't my actual knife. I did have one on Orca, which I canceled a little while ago, but I'll tell you why I canceled it. But other than that, I mean, the fit and finish is great. Just what you expect from Riot Knives. Ergonomics are pretty good. I say pretty good because, for me, I don't love the thickness of the knife. I think 0.6 inches is a little excessive. You're getting most of that from these thick titanium liners, which it's a liner lock. Typically, liner locks are a little thicker than frame locks. That's kind of normal, but it's a little wide in the hand for me. Not bad. It's a comfortable handle, no doubt. It's really nice in the hand, but it's a little wide. And there is one little weird hot spot and it's not bad, but down here with this handle, the way it kind of works is, this part of the handle, this hump, hits my middle of my pinky, and you know your pinky's not exactly your biggest finger or medius, so you're gonna feel things more there. And while using it and cutting and stuff, I felt like a small hot spot there. Probably won't affect a lot of people, but it does for me. And And there is a lack of jimping anywhere on the knife. There's literally no jimping anywhere. Not on the lock bar, not up here. I think you could use some right here. But you know, the flipper tab kind of locks your hand in well, but it'd be nice to see some jimping here. So ergonomics are good. I think a lot of people are going to find this knife very comfortable and like the wider feel. For me, I just kind of prefer a thinner handle. If you look at the smock here, thickness-wise, you can see a pretty large difference between these two. This is probably the best way. I mean, you can kind of see there's a pretty, well, you can kind of see, I can kind of see, there you go, pretty substantial thickness difference. This is under a ½ inch, this is 0.6, so that is one thing I would say. I think the XM18 is about the same. I think it feels thinner to me though. Yeah, what is this guy? It is. It's 0.53. That's 0.6. So you're, you know, almost like a good amount. And that's why I think the XM18. I mean, I love the ergonomics on. It just feels like perfect in my hand. I think it's the perfect thickness. I think that ½ inch mark is kind of what you want. You don't want to go too much over that if you can avoid that. So I think that's kind of where this area where the ergonomics don't work well for me. However, the aesthetics on the knife are beautiful, especially this version with the Mokutai touches on the hardware, the titanium, blue titanium screws and thumb stud, and then you have the nice Mokutai clip here. Beautiful knife, just absolutely aesthetically, 100% aesthetically pleasing. Then you got to talk about the blade. The blade is beautiful. It's got this really cool harpoon, kind of modified harpoon shape, but with this really cool swedge up here at the top that just is a really beautiful blade. Nice big belly on the blade. This thing, we'll get into that part when we talk about the cutting, but it slices really well. So aesthetics are beautiful. It's actually a beautiful knife. And now actually we're going to talk about that one, you know, kind of my final thoughts. The action is extremely good. I mean, it's just absolutely so smooth. It just flips so nicely. There is no jimping on the flipper tab. It is positioned pretty high on the handle, so you should get really good action. I mean, there's really should be no issues flipping the knife. You can use the thumb stud, but the D10 is a little strong. It does work, but you'll feel that dig into your thumb a little bit because the D10 is so strong. And then there's no middle finger flicking this. Like the D10 is just too strong. So it's definitely set up to be a flipper as far as the action goes. But it's really nice, very smooth. The sliceability or cutting performance of this guy was really good. I used it. For me, you can't really nail down ergonomics of a knife. Sometimes you can by just picking it up, but a lot of times you don't feel a hot spot or notice something bad until you actually really use the knife. So I always do a lot of cardboard cutting just because it's an easy medium for me to use to test knives. I have a ton of it, and you know, some knives that are thinly ground and stuff can slice right through it. This one sliced right through it like butter. It was really, really nice to use. As far as the cutting ability goes, that's also where I noticed the hot spot though, so that's why I do that test. Its thinness behind the edge is pretty dang good, if I remember right. Yeah, I'm getting 0.019 inches behind the edge, so it's very, I mean, that right there would make me kind of want to keep this knife around if it was mine, because of how well it slices and how well it cuts, and it's so thin behind the edge. Our LW34 is a good steel. It's performed really well for me on my baby machine. Obviously not the best steel, especially for this price range. You kind of should be in the M390 range, but or even S35 on the high end. But it's still a good steel. So, but sliceability in this guy is great. Cuts well. So if you've got one of these on order and you like everything about it, and you know, fits your hand well, you're gonna love the performance because it slices so nicely. How it carries is another kind of issue I have with the knife. I'll show you that right now. So the clip is nice and pretty and everything, but it's a little stiff. And the way the clip kind of curves, it pushes the knife like away from the outside of your pocket. So I like to usually carry out here if I can. And this, I mean, I can't even get it over there. So it kind of pushes the knife over there. So it takes up a lot of pocket real estate. It's like a good amount of space in your pocket. You don't have a lot of room to stick your hand in there and get other things if you want to. That's one thing I don't like about this knife as well, is that it doesn't carry very well. It doesn't carry very nicely at all, actually. It was surprising. When I put it in my pocket, I was like, wow, this is the way this clip is angled and such. It really takes up tons of my pocket space. So, but the clip is beautiful, the Mokutai, but the clip is the same on the G10 version. It's just not Mokutai. Value-wise, $290-ish, I think is what I paid for this. or what I had ordered mine for. Excuse me, this one's not mine. And I think with considering the Mokutai hardware, the marble carbon fiber, and everything, it's a pretty good deal, especially with Riot's fit and finish. My only gripe would be at that point of the knives, the blade steel, but that's the same thing with the Baby Machine. That's one of my favorite knives, so I'm okay with it. I think the value is pretty dang good, especially for the Mokutai hardware. Now, if you went with the G10 version, you're looking at even better value because you still get the same steel, and you're only getting G10, but you're paying $120 less, and everything else would be the same. So I would say the G10 version is a better deal, a better buy. So if they do come up again, I would recommend that version personally over this fancy smanchy version. And I came to the kind of conclusion that I don't love Mokutai hardware. I don't love these extra accents. A lot of guys totally go crazy for these, and for me, I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting more plain or whatever, but you know, and yeah, I do love the marble carbon fiber. I would love to have that on the smock, but the hardware doesn't bother me on the smock. I mean, I did stitch out the pocket clip, obviously, because it needed it. But other than that, I mean, this is more kind of my style knife, where this is a little flashy and such, and I could see it like in a really nice gentleman's carry knife, getting some Mokutai and you know some in the titanium, and having it be like a smaller, like kind of, you know, nicer knife. But for a knife of this size that I would consider to be a pretty hard, pretty hard to use this knife, and you could really put a really good working knife. It's a little fancy, so I would kind of go with the G10 version of it if you can. So the X factor here is it's a gorgeous knife. For me though, it didn't really check all the boxes. Let's put it that way. The ergonomics were a little off for my hand. The extra fancy hardware and stuff, I kind of wish I had gone with the G10 version on my order. And if I could, I probably might pick one up in that configuration and not this one. I actually ended up canceling my Massdrop order. They were allowed us to do that because these are on delay right now from the manufacturer, because they came in and Eric at Ochs was not happy with the sharpening, or maybe it was the Massdrop. So they sent all the knives to Eric to finish the sharpening and make sure. And I think it had something to do with this plunge grind right here and the sharpening choil. I'm not exactly sure, but so it kind of delayed it even further. And that's kind of like a gripe, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say a gripe, but it's just one of those things. Part of doing business with Massdrop is that I paid for this knife like forever ago, and then it got delayed again. And I'm like, by then you kind of almost lose interest in them. You know what I mean? They make some, but they offer some really, really good values, especially the Fair and Forge knives. Some really good values there. But you wait so long, sometimes you get a little, I don't know, bored, and you're waiting and something else comes along, and that's kind of how we are as knife nuts, right? Anyway, that's going to wrap up the video, guys, on this Ochs Orca Massdrop Riot collaboration. It's a beautiful knife, and I can see a lot of people loving it, but just didn't quite check all the boxes for me. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.